I was drinking around the clock, and I was drinking a handle of whiskey a day. That's a lot. And wine on top of that sometimes. So I was a mess, and I was setting my alarm for 5 a.m. so that I could get up and start drinking before the kids got up so that my hands wouldn't be shaking when I made them breakfast. I lost my consulting job because I couldn't keep up with it. I was going to therapy, and I was very manipulative. I was lying all the time. I was very deceptive. I was so deep in the grips of alcoholism that it took over my being. So I was desperate. And something about Caron, they were very gently caring, but firm. I remember my shoulders just gave way. Then I thought, okay, I'm not fighting this anymore. I'm just going to do everything they say. Because I have everything to lose at this point. How do you explain to your kids that you're sick because your mind isn't working correctly, because it's something they can't see, it's not tangible. While the kids were there and they were asking me that question, we happened to be outside the art room at Caron, and I got out a big piece of paper and some crayons, and I just started making up a story about how, I was this queen and I had these dragons that were haunting me. And one was the dragon of addiction that tells me lies and makes me do things I shouldn't do. And the other was the dragon of my past, which was the trauma that makes me sad. And, the kids started drawing the queen and the sword and the dragons, and they responded to me telling them that. And then, the story kind of grew from there. But it seemed to resonate with them. Like that was a way for me to explain addiction to them in a way that they could grasp and they could understand. Pain shared is a pain halved, and a joy shared is a joy doubled. And the more that we share the pain, the less sting it's going to have. So the more we talk about the things that people traditionally don't like talking about, the less weight it carries. So if, the book comes out and it explains addiction to children, and, Dermot and Ren walk through the world and start talking about addiction as though it's a disease and not something to be ashamed of, then that's a generation that looks at it as something that's not shame-oriented. And that's hope.